Cheers guys, and Happy New Year. I'm the Tech Prepper. Hope you're all doing well. So just a quick video today. I want to talk about a little bit of a recap of 2022 and the plan for 2023. But first I want to thank everybody who helped me grow this channel. So if you hit that thumbs up button, if you commented down below, if you subscribed and hit that bell notification, thank you so much. And I also want to thank the people on Buy Me a Coffee in particular. You guys are amazing. I cannot have done this without you. You guys have given me the motivation to try and exit my day job and transition to doing this full time in 2023. We'll talk about that. So stick around. We're going to talk about 4 or 5 highlights of 2022 and then the direction for 2023. All right, folks. So we started out 2022 with this philosophy of tools, not toys. The previous year, I had a lot of experience out here in the Tonto National Forest, and I had a lot of fails with equipment, mostly around things like the Raspberry Pi 3B Plus. So with the tools, not toys philosophy, I decided to transition all of my gear to gear that was more suited for harsher environments, outdoor environments. So I transitioned primarily to the CF20 Panasonic Toughbook. Absolutely love that thing. Just 2 small issues I have with it. It's a little bit sluggish by 2022 standards, but it runs the amateur radio software just fine. And the other thing is that internal GPS, if you have the optional module, is very slow to acquire, but they're not deal breakers for me. I also transitioned off of my Yaesu FT60 to the VX6R, and that is mostly due to the fact that I destroyed one of my FT60s while trail running out here. It accumulated a lot of salt and moisture for my trail runs, and the VX6 has been proving to be a very capable all-weather radio with its IP67 rating. So tools, not toys is a theme that we're going to continue into 2023, but in general, I think I nailed it by going down to just a handful of radios that were more for duty use and field use. So number 2, TTP Manpacks, or the Tech Prepper Manpacks. For those of you guys who started watching my channel a couple years ago, when I actually started to do a lot of field work with my Yaesu FT818ND, I started out with some dry bags, quickly transitioned over to adding the Armorlock TPA pack frames, and then was on the hunt for the perfect bag. I started out with the DSLR camera bag, then transitioned to kitting together a couple of different bags. The first was the Helicon Tech E&E pouch, and the second was the 511 6x6 admin pouch. They worked okay. Problem was the top flap wouldn't close. The wires were running around the outside, and I had to do some modifications, and I ran it that way for, geez, probably close to a year. And then back in February, I finally decided to bite the bullet and have someone manufacture a bag with me, and a fantastic resource out of Mesa, Arizona, formerly doing bags for the firearm industry. And I basically have just about sold the first 50 bags to the wait list on Buy Me a Coffee, and I'm going to launch those bags next year in 2023, probably end of January, early February. So more on the TTP Manpacks. All right, so number 3 probably has to be the No Random Contacts series. And this is where I diverged from the amateur radio operators. My primary reason for getting into radios was very much from the preparedness mindset. And I had 3 use cases: emergency communication, public service, and to use when everything goes sideways. So I wanted to do what I would call targeted contacts, and jokingly I named it No Random Contacts. Ham radio operatives love to do something called DX, or distant communication, where they randomly make contacts. It's fun, but for my use case, it wasn't for me. And I think I've demonstrated so far, we've done about a half dozen videos on No Random Contacts, starting from community, city, county, state, and even regional communication, with about a 90% success. So next year, we're going to continue that, and we're going to go into more like coastal to coastal contacts. I've got one lined up with the YouTuber next month for voice and digital. So we're going to continue to do targeted contacts as part of that No Random Contacts series. So stick around for that. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about 2023. So Tools Not Toys is going to continue. emcomm Tools Development is going to continue. TTP Manpacks are going to go public. I have a Yaesu 857D, which is larger. It's discontinued, but I also have a 891, which is the same footprint. So kicking around the idea for 2023 to actually build another prototype, larger manpack. It's going to be the big brother. And again, I'm going to pay for that prototype to be done, test it, and then I'm going to offer a small batch first right of refusal to the Buy Me a Coffee group. The other set of bags or soft goods that I'm planning on designing next year is I'm very much concerned about the potential for an EMP event, either through a solar storm or as a secondary effect of a nuclear blast, for example. So I'm working on building some EMP pouches with a outer Faraday cage. It's going to be a very modular system. More details next year, but it is something I'm looking at, and I'm planning on protecting my investment in about half my radios and basically having a copy of each radio. So in the event that there is an EMP event, I'll have the solar panels, the batteries, the radios, the ability to run all that equipment that has anything that has a wire or a chip in it is essentially going to go into one or more of these Faraday bags, and then ultimately all of that stuff will go into a larger Faraday cage. So stick around for that stuff. It should be a whole lot of fun in terms of the soft and hard good products I plan to design, manufacture, and sell. All right, so last up, I have been on the hunt for the perfect field antenna. I have a couple of antennas that have come my way. One of them is a custom antenna. I was on a live stream with Tim, N9SAB, and he develops fantastic antennas. He's got an eBay storefront. I'll put a link to his. And he asked if I would be interested. And I said, Tim, I would really like a modification for my personal use case. I think it's actually in the mailbox right now. So I have to go take the ruck and go pick up the mail. But don't want to spoil it, but basically it is a link dipole that I intend to use primarily for NVIS deployments, but very low to the ground, where the apex is going to be about 5 or 6 feet, with the ends about 4 or 5, and then you can walk the line for the links. So there will be a link for 20 that's not technically going to fall under NVIS, but there will be links for also 40, 60, which is going to be the hot ticket, 75 and 80 meters. 75 will cover voice and 80 will cover digital. So super excited about having at least potentially four NVIS bands that I can deploy in the field that are ultra rugged. So stick around. That's probably going to be a video in January. The second antenna we're going to look at also in January, Carl from Chameleon was kind enough to send me the CHA Tactical Dipole 2.0. Now this is a much heavier antenna that I personally would carry with my setup here, but it's perfect for me when I take the vehicle. And there was one antenna configuration, since this antenna is a Swiss Army knife, that I have been interested in for about a year now. I was thumbing through military field manuals, technical manuals, DoD documents, and there's an antenna called the Terminated Sloping V. It's basically a directional antenna that gives you gain on HF, and this is the antenna configuration we're going to try to use for a targeted contact as part of the No Random Contact series, all the way out to Tennessee. I've got 4 contacts I want to make, so that is up and coming. So we're going to do a bunch of different antenna stuff, but basically by the end of the year, my plan is to have basically a couple of different manpack options all included. You guys have seen a lot of that. emcomm tools built on the CF20 Toughbook to do off-grid communication, and then the appropriate set of multi-band antennas so that you can basically work everything and anything from your local community all the way out to across the globe. So that's basically everything that's in store. There is one other thing I want to talk about related to my transition. All right, folks, the overarching goal is really for me to put myself in a position where I can transition out of my day job and still pay the bills, pay the mortgage, do all that good stuff. But I'd like to focus on creating content for you once a week like I have been, probably doing a bit more on the content side, but more than anything, focusing on product development, on the software side like emcomm tools, and then on the soft good side like the manpacks. I have that stuff right now is taking me so much time. I'm waking up most mornings around 2 o'clock in the morning, sometimes 1:30, and doing that up until about 8 a.m. and then I start my day job. It's not really sustainable anymore, but I do it for you guys for right now. But next year, I don't know if I can do it for more than 3 months, so your support is appreciated. So to make that happen, I'm going to turn on memberships on Buy Me a Coffee, and I'm going to start establishing some perks. So number one, I want to do a live stream once a month privately for the members that are supporting me to basically maybe have it be topical, but more than anything, allocate 80 to 90% just for Q&A, and you guys can ask me anything and everything. And who knows, some ideas may come out of that exercise. Should be a lot of fun. Any products that I develop, that group will get the first runs. So like with my TTP Manpack, I did a limited edition numbered batch of 50. I signed each one, did special tags. Those types of things will also go to the members first before they become public. emcomm Tools software project, when that box set is ready to be shipped, that group is going to be able to get the first set of batches, and I'll work through those guys before I sell any publicly. And then also, if I find any deals, whether it's, a whole pallet of CF20s somewhere, or like, they announced that the 818 was discontinued, if I have a good source on that stuff, I'll also let that group know before I make anything public. And then in general, on Buy Me a Coffee, I try to post a newsletter every so often, letting you guys know what's going on. And then also, yeah, that's pretty much it for right now. So those are probably the membership perks I'm going to start with out the door. And again, I want to thank everybody in advance. If you can't financially support what I'm doing, continue to watch, subscribe, share the videos. Again, I want to do this full time. This is so much more fun than my day job of building search engines and content-driven websites. Been doing that since 1997, and I'm pretty much toast. I'd rather have all of my cognitive overhead go into building off-grid software. On that note, picked up an Android phone too. I've been an iPhone user forever. I plan to get into Android development as well, so hopefully we can not move away from the CF20, but start to build some software that's designed from the ground up with those off-grid capabilities on things like an Android device. All right, guys, I can go on forever, but I want to keep this short. I don't know if I succeeded, but thank all of you guys for all the support, and have a prosperous 2023. With that said, I'm the Tech Prepper. Be strong, be safe, and be prepared.